Prominent UAE activist Alaa al-Siddiq dies in London car crash. Alaa was executive director of a UK-based non-profit that advocated for human rights in the Gulf. Alaa al-Siddiq, a prominent dissident Emirati rights activist and critic, has died in a car crash in London. Alaa was the executive director of the United Kingdom-based ALQST, a non-profit organization that advocates for greater freedoms and human rights in the UAE and the wider Gulf region. With deep sadness, ALQST mourns the sudden death of its loved and respected executive director Alaa al-Siddiq on Saturday, June 19, 2021, the group said in a tweet. May she rest in power. Her father, Mohammed al-Siddiq, is also a prominent activist who has been held in detention by Emirati authorities since 2013. The news of Alaa, at Alaa_Q, passing is devastating. Alaa is a human rights defender and the daughter of a political prisoner detained in UAE since 2013. Foul play or not, time will tell. Alaa lived and died for justice. Justice will prevail. #at Alaa_Q. Today, the able Emirati researcher and honest sister, Professor Alaa al-Siddiq, left this world, while her father, Mohammed al-Siddiq, languishes in the notorious prisons of the United Arab Emirates, wrote Saudi activist Abdullah al-Ada. According to Doha News, Alaa and her husband sought asylum in Qatar in 2012, where they had been living with their relatives. The activist's presence in Qatar, and Doha stands towards political activists at a time when the UAE was cracking down on voices of dissent, led to a rift between the two neighbors. Devastating news. Alaa al-Siddiq, director of ALQST_N, died yesterday. She spent most of her life fighting for the release of her father from UAE prisons and for rights of prisoners across the world. She never got to see her father be freed. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. In 2018, Qatar's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani said a dispute had taken place between Qatar and the UAE in 2015 concerning a political dissident's wife. Abu Dhabi had sent an envoy to Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani to ask that the woman in question be handed over to Emirati authorities, a request that was turned down by the Qatari ruler. Though kept secret, Abdullah Al-Athba, the editor-in-chief of Qatar's Al Arab newspaper, later said it was Alaa who the Emiratis sought to repatriate. At Alaa_Q, an avid researcher and freedom fighter, passed away today in London. She dedicated her life to challenging the Emirati regime and fighting for the freedom of innocent prisoners.